Welcome back to Guitar Foundations. I'm Nate Savage, and in this video I want to address one of the most common frustration areas or reasons for frustrations for most guitar players. Almost always, 9 times out of 10, when somebody emails me saying, I'm just frustrated with my playing, I don't know what to practice, or I'm not making the progress that I want, I email them back and I ask them, have you set any smaller, measurable, attainable, specific goals for yourself? And do you have a plan in place for success? And almost always, 9 times out of 10, that person emails me back and says, no, I haven't done that. And that is what you have to do if you want to have success on the guitar. You have to break things down into small, manageable, measurable goals, set goals, and work toward those goals. That way you'll know exactly what to practice when you sit down with your guitar, and you'll know exactly when you've achieved that goal and you can move on. The first step to getting this plan in place is to pick a commitment level. You want to make sure that you dedicate and commit to something or a certain amount of time that you can practice the guitar every week. If something's worth doing and learning, it's worth putting in the time for, right? You want to do that, but you also don't want to overcommit to set yourself up for failure. That's bad too. So let me walk you through an example of what this might look like. And if you have the Guitar Foundations book, there's a place in here to write down your commitment level. You're going to want to do that. If you don't have that, if you want to pick that up, just go to natesavage.com and you can get the Guitar Foundations book. Anyway, an example of this might sound like this. I want to practice, or I will practice guitar 20 minutes a day, 5 times a week. It can be something that's that simple. It doesn't have to be a ridiculous amount of time. You can see really good results with as little as 20 minutes a day, but more is always better. Now, what you don't want to do is say something like, I want to practice 2 hours a day, 7 days a week, when you know that realistically all you can commit to is maybe an hour a day, 5 days a week at the most. If you do that, you're going to set yourself up for failure, and you're going to feel defeated, and you're going to be like, well, what's the point? I can't do it. So pick something that's realistic, write it down, and commit to it. That's step one. The next step, and this is where a lot of people falter and they just don't do it, is to actually write down or schedule in your practice time. And you can do this one of 2 ways. You can either do it in your phone, set some reminders on your phone that just recur every day that you're going to practice. I'd really recommend doing that, because when you see it pop up, you're going to have to make the mental decision to either skip over that and, swipe away, or you're going to sit there and actually go do your practice routine. It's a really good reminder to help keep yourself accountable. Another way to do this is to get your physical calendar wherever it is in your house and just write in your practice time. Again, if you see that and it's somewhere prominent, you're going to have to either make the conscious decision to, like, okay, I have practice coming up in a half hour. It's just for 20 minutes and I can do this. Or you're going to make the decision, no, I'm not doing that today. And it's just going to help keep you more accountable. But regardless, even if you only pick 20 minutes, what's probably going to happen is you're going to get into that 20 minutes and then you're going to start playing, you're going to have fun, you're going to get into it, and you're going to start practicing maybe half hour or an hour. The hardest part is sitting down and just that initial starting and practicing, because none of us like to be not good at something. In the first 5 minutes of each practice session, your hand feels cold and you're not into it. But forcing yourself to sit down with the guitar, that first 5 minutes can do a world of good, and it can get you into that 20-minute practice session that can go into an hour or even more. So that's another actionable item. Take some time, maybe stop the video, spend 30 minutes setting up some reminders on your phone or penciling in your practice time in your calendar. It's going to make all the difference in the world. Now on to what I consider to be probably the most important aspect of progressing on the guitar and seeing, a lot of good results out of your practice time, and that is setting small, specific, and attainable goals with a deadline attached to them. And the cool thing about Guitar Foundations is that a lot of this is already going to be taken care of for you. In each lesson, you have the assignments that are going to be there, and those are going to be your goals for the next, week or 2, however long that takes you. But it's a really good idea to get in the habit of setting small, specific goals. So there's a spot in the Guitar Foundations book where you can write down 1, 2, 3 specific goals if you want to. And I really recommend doing that. I'll give you some examples of this. The first goal might be, I want to learn all of my 8 foundational open chords. Second one is, I want to be able to strum a straight 16th note strumming pattern. Or another one would be, I want to work on my G to C chord transition and get that really smooth. Now, this lesson and the next couple of them are going to cover some things that aren't necessarily related to hands-on directly playing the guitar, but I want to encourage you to make sure you go through them very thoroughly, because while we're not actually putting our hands on the guitar and making music right now for this next few lessons, getting these down, things like tuning, the parts of the guitar, how rhythm works, counting, setting up a practice plan are all going to be super critical once we actually start playing the guitar, learning chords, strumming, those types of things. So take some time, write down some specific goals that you want to achieve over the next month or two. And it may sound like something that doesn't really matter, but trust me, when you sit down and you're like, what do I practice? What do I practice? Oh, you can come back to those goals and they're going to guide you for exactly what you need to work on so you can make the most out of, the 20 or 30 minutes that you have to practice. Larger goals on the guitar are also something that are really important in a different way. They kind of give you an overarching goal or sense of drive for like, I want to be this, or I want to do this on the guitar. And try to get as specific as you can with these, but still have them be something that you're shooting for. Something like, I want to be a really good fingerstyle guitarist is better. Or even more specific, I want to be able to learn this fingerstyle tune, or I want to be able to learn this blues style tune. Goals like that, especially songs, give you something to shoot for, and they have this measurable or quantitative aspect to them that lets you know when you've achieved them, because as soon as you can play that song, you know you have reached that goal and learned all the elements, technique, chord scales, whatever it is that went in to being able to learn that song. So writing down a larger goal for yourself is something that's really important. And this can change as time goes on, as you learn more, but write down what it is explicitly that you want to be able to do on the guitar. For me, I'll tell you my two. I want to be a really good fingerstyle guitarist, and I have my songs picked that I'm working through that I want to learn for fingerstyle guitar, and that forces me to learn new patterns, new chords, things like that, and just get better technically. I also want to be a really good improviser on the guitar for like electric lead stuff. So that forces me to work on different improvising over different chord progressions or learning new lead guitar techniques. For you, a big goal might be, I want to be able to play this particular song, or I want to be able to play a simple blues lead over a 12-bar blues progression. Whatever it is, take some time and write it down. Once you've picked a commitment level, scheduled your practice time out, set some smaller goals, and set a bigger goal, you will be ready to move on to the next lesson. As a matter of fact, those are your 4 assignments for this lesson. And let me just say this, playing the guitar is a lot like going to the gym. If you only go once a week, you're going to be sore and you're not going to see a lot of results, and it's just going to be frustrating. Guitar is the same way. If you only practice, 3 hours, 1 day a week, it's going to be a frustrating experience for you. Chopping up or blocking those up into more frequent practice sessions that are shorter throughout the week will be a lot more effective for you. And even multiple practice sessions per day can be super effective. So I say all that just to say that consistency is key, and the more you can get your hands on the guitar, the more consistently, the better off you're going to be and the faster you're going to progress. So again, here are your assignments for this lesson. Number 1, pick a commitment level and write it down. Number 2, schedule your practice time for the next 3 months, and that could be physical or digital. Number 3, write down 2 to 3 smaller specific goals that you want to accomplish over the next couple months. And number 4, write down 1 specific larger goal you want to accomplish as a guitar player. That's it for this lesson. Don't underestimate how important it is to have a plan in place as you move forward. It'll keep you out of a lot of trouble. If you have any questions at all, you can leave them in the comments below or email me, nate@natesavage.com. And if you need that little extra bit of personal attention, you can schedule a private lesson with me at natesavage.com. See you.